Hi guys, Paul here, and today we're going to be starting a new series. This series is going to be called Bushcraft Basics, and it's going to contain multiple episodes, and as the title suggests, I'm going to be aiming it at the total beginners amongst us. And the reason for this is I was out filming a video the other day, and someone pointed out to me that what I'd just done to a total beginner would have looked completely bizarre. And I thought to myself, if someone wasn't there to explain it, how would he or she begin to understand what's just happened there? So, having had that conversation, I decided to myself I was going to make a series and take it right back to the very basics, to where I started. And we're going to look, from the very, very kind of get-go, from first stepping outside your door to being able to come out into the woods, to be able to make a shelter, to be able to make fire, and all the rest of it. So before we get started on the introduction as to what it is we're going to cover in the episodes, let me just tell you a bit about myself and why I feel like I might be someone who has an experience to share when it comes to bushcraft. So I've been teaching bushcraft for a couple of years now, but I've been practicing it for about 7, say. I grew up in the Outer Hebrides, which is in the northwest coast of Scotland, on a small island called Uist, probably one of the most remote places in Scotland, or the UK as a whole in fact. And it was a very, very rural way of life. So the fundamentals of what we call bushcraft were basically instilled in you from a young age, because it was just life. You had to be able to make a fire, you had to be able to kind of go and get yourself food, all the rest of it. So it started there for me. And then as my skills progressed and I wanted to stretch out more and more, I ended up moving to the mainland, which is where I am now, mainland Scotland. I'm based in Elgin just now, which is just a wee bit outside of Inverness, and I have these woods here. They're not mine, they're public woods, but I have this spot here where I can come and I can practice my skills, and I've been progressing them for, like I say, probably another 5 years after leaving Uist. So 7 years in total, maybe 2 in Uist, 5 here. And that change in environment helped me a lot when it came to my skills. So I had the coastal foraging sort of stuff down, I had building shelters using natural materials that weren't trees, for example, all that sort of stuff. And then, as I say, I got into teaching it. I started my bushcraft company, if you like, Paul Smith Primitive Bushcraft, which is what you're watching now. And from there, I kind of started teaching courses. I was down in Wales for a while. I was teaching courses at a campsite there. And it's kind of progressed from there. As I've gotten better, more people have reached out to me, and my kind of event list has kind of slowly gotten bigger. And this year, it's kind of looking like it's going to be my biggest year. Most recently, I was an instructor for the Armed Forces, the British Armed Forces. That was in Scotland as well. That was in Kirkcudbright. And I was on a week and a half exercise with them, and I was an instructor alongside the army instructors for them, which was a really cool experience. So, as I say, I've been doing it for a while, and I've kind of got a bit of experience. I've been around the block a wee bit, and I just kind of wanted to touch back on my roots personally, but also share them with you and talk about what it is bushcraft means, how you should get into it, and all that sort of stuff. Now, I'll stress now, a lot of this is my opinion. People will tell you different stuff. There's videos and stuff that will say otherwise and all the rest of it. People will always kind of have a differing view of what bushcraft is, but I'm going to explain to you what it means to me. Now, I'm entirely self-taught. I've never been on a course in my life, only the ones I've been teaching. So everything I've learned, I've had to look up, research myself, watch videos, look at books, go out and then put it into practice. And like I say, I've been doing that for 7 years, and you can see kind of where it's gotten me today and what it's enabled me to do. And it's slowly becoming my career, which is kind of what I want. It's what I'm passionate about, it's what I love doing. I love sharing the skills and the knowledge, and I love seeing people kind of develop when they're out in the woods, and kind of that sense of joy that comes with learning a new skill or being able to pass a new skill on. So, with all the boring stuff out the way, let's talk about an introduction to bushcraft. What is bushcraft? What would I refer to bushcraft as? It's a really good question, and it's something that that gets thrown around a lot. You'll see a lot of people arguing about what bushcraft is and what it isn't. For me personally, what bushcraft is being able to go out into an environment that could be the woods, it could be an island like where I was originally from, it could be a desert, it could be anywhere in the world. But what bushcraft is to me is being able to go out into that environment and to survive using the materials that nature provides, using the skills our ancestors developed over tens of thousands of years, and also using a bit of creativity and ingenuity to kind of tackle problems that arise. That's what bushcraft is to me. It's about the skills. Now, a lot of people are interested in the kit aspect, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. However, for me personally, it was never something I got into. When I started out, I had a knife and I had a little kind of canteen, like an army style canteen, and that was it. That's all I had. So I started out very light and became very skill based very quickly. Some people go the opposite way. Some people will buy like a huge rucksack and fill it to the brim with all sorts of goodies and all the rest of it, only to find that maybe they don't need all that. And that's what I want to teach. I want to teach you how to slowly get rid of that backpack. You know, the more you know, the less you carry. And that's what I want to try and pass on. So in these videos, what I'm going to be doing is just looking at the basics. So today, we're just looking at an introduction to bushcraft. In the next episode, we'll perhaps look at some of the tools required, the best beginner tools required for bushcraft, and we'll tackle subjects thereafter. So fire lighting, shelter building, foraging, identifying trees and plants, and so on and so forth. So it should make for quite a long series, and I would love it if you guys have any suggestions on what you want to see. Again, this is aimed purely at the beginners. If you have something you're really curious about and you want to know what it's all about, just drop me a comment and I'll make it a video topic for you. So, as I was saying, bushcraft to me is about the skills, and that's what I'm going to be looking at. There will be videos on kit, but they're not going to be, really, really long or really in depth, because to be honest, I don't have that skill set. I'm not in depth with my tools. I have a knife, I have a saw, I have an axe, and a ferro rod for starting fires, and that's it. That's all the kit I need. The kit you can see behind me here is all I need to live comfortably in the woods for a very, very long period of time. So, with that being said, let's talk about who bushcraft might be for. Now, bushcraft is kind of, in my opinion, one of those all-round outdoor activities. You could do it for fitness, you could do it for your mental health and well-being, you could do it as a job, you can turn it into a business, whatever it might be. Whatever you're interested in, or your interest has driven you down this road for, is what you should pursue. Don't let anyone tell you that it's got to be a certain way, or that it's got to be, done this way, and that's what it's all about. If you want to do it for just getting outside and clearing your mind, that's awesome. That's what I do a lot of the time. If you want to make it your job, if it's something you become really passionate about, again, fantastic. Being able to pass down those skills, or like me, when times aren't so busy, you can learn to make stuff. You can learn to craft stuff with your own hands and sell it, and sustain yourself that way. There's so many different roads you can go down, and that's kind of totally down to you. I can't put any bearing on that. For me personally, it's clearing my head, become my passion, and sharing knowledge, and also the ability to craft, to make stuff, and then to sell it, to sustain myself in the modern world. So your drive into bushcraft is entirely up to you, but what I'm going to aim to do here is just guide you along and hopefully help you find the skills needed, the tools needed to be able to get yourself into the woods and to be comfortable. Okay guys, so that's going to do it for today's episode. I'm going to try and do 2 episodes a week of this, and don't hold me to that. As a lot of you will know, I'm notoriously bad at uploading on time, but that's what I'm going to try and do. And again, any suggestions for videos, please just leave them in the comments below. and I will definitely try and make them part of a video. You know, again, I can't stress this enough, it's directed at the beginners. There'll be people here along for the ride that have, you know, been doing bushcraft for years. There'll be some people that are kind of in between, and it's great to have them along too. I think no matter what experience level you are at, you can always learn something from going back to the basics. You know, you can always learn a new way of doing something, or even refine your technique to make the way you do something a smoother process and something that works more efficiently. So although this is aimed at beginners, the rest of you guys that are here watching this, I hope you stick along for the ride as well, and I hope you find something helpful in this video series. So that's going to do it for today, guys. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll catch up with you again soon.